Israel has agreed to four-hour pauses in fighting each day in northern Gaza. It promises there will be no military operations in the region during a pre-announced time. Israel says the pause is meant to allow people to move to southern Gaza to get food and medical care. For more on this, Trita Parsi joins me from Washington. He's the executive vice president at the Quincy Institute. Let me start with this pause. The Biden administration has been pushing for this humanitarian pause. I asked our Deborah Pata in Jerusalem if this was sufficient from a humanitarian standpoint. Let me ask you, Trita, from a diplomatic standpoint, what does this achieve, this pause?
Not very much. The entire demand of the vast majority of the international community, including regional states, many of them partners of the United States, is not for the killing to be paused, but for the killing to be stopped. And the president has, in the last week, spent some political capital getting something that I don't think will get him very far. And I think we should keep in mind, about 3 weeks ago, there was a UN Security Council resolution introduced at the UN by Brazil calling for a humanitarian pause, and the Biden administration vetoed it. So if they had actually gone for the pause much earlier, perhaps there would have been a diplomatic benefit coming from it. But to do it at this late stage, after more than 10,000 have been killed, more than 5,000 children, this is not going to make much of an impression in the region.
The New York Times has a story saying U.S. officials are signaling that the Israeli military has limited time to carry out operations before essentially there's a backfire in the Arab region. We know that the United States has been sending that message privately, but when you send it through the New York Times, that suggests something else. What do you make of that move to maybe more public pressure on Israel?
Well, I think the administration is starting to feel the pressure, not only here at home, but also internationally. And I think they're recognizing that their Biden administration's refusal to push for a ceasefire is costing the United States tremendously internationally. The United States is essentially as isolated on this issue internationally as Russia is isolated on the issue of Ukraine. And that's not a good position for the United States to be in. So starting to send those signals publicly is an indication that the administration is starting to increase the pressure. But this pressure is still extremely limited compared to what it can be and what it needs to be. We have to keep in mind that while we're essentially talking about messages in the New York Times, the United States is still resupplying Israel with weapons and ammunition, and also the House voted for an additional $14 billion to Israel. So these mixed messages do not amount to the type of pressure that is needed to actually get a complete stop of this fighting.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says that Gaza should be part of have a unified government along with the West Bank under the Palestinian Authority once the war's over. What is the advantage of saying that now? And does the Palestinian Authority want that role if it comes after these Israeli military operations in Gaza?
I don't see a lot of advantage in saying this. I don't think there's any love lost, of course, for Hamas and the horrific things that they have done. But by going in and saying that, we are starting to design who's going to be ruling what territory in the future in the Middle East, we're back into regime change business in the Middle East. And we have seen what that has produced for the region and for the United States in the last 2 decades. The Palestinian Authority right now does not have much legitimacy in the West Bank. It has next to zero in Gaza. So once again, we're going to go down a path of trying to socially engineer countries far, far away from us. And that has backfired tremendously in the past. It is likely to backfire again.
And finally, Trita, I want to draw on your extensive expertise about Iran. The U.S. has targeted Iran-linked facilities in Syria. What is your read of the fear of a wider war and Iran's role in that now with this second U.S. military strike?
I think, unfortunately, there is a significant risk for an escalation. I don't think any of the parties want to war. I don't think the Iranians want it, Hezbollah, or the United States, for that matter. However, the approach that has been taken both by the Iranians, Hezbollah, Iraqi militias, and the Biden administration, unfortunately, has put us in a situation in one big mistake, one American death in one of these militia attacks, against the US base, and we may end up in a large war in the region. And the last thing the United States needs is another war in the Middle East. This is part of the reason I think it's very important, not just for humanitarian reasons, but also for the de-escalation and keeping the US out of a regional war, that we actually need to move to a real ceasefire in Gaza.
Trita Parsi, Executive Vice President at the Quincy Institute. Thank you so much for being with us.